The 7-10 matchup in the West between Kansas and Arkansas is probably, if you told people this was a 7-10 matchup coming into the season, people would have laughed in your face. Like, Kansas was the national title favorite to start the season, or one of number one team in the country at least. And Arkansas, getting Coach Calipari, um, all the transfers they got, the recruiting class that he brought from Kentucky, they were fully expected to be a top 25 team. But they're a 10 seed, Kansas 7 seed. Their worst finish in the Big 12, I think, under Bill Self, right? Not a very good season for either team. Arkansas pretty fortunate to have turned it up the last half of the season in SEC play to even make the tournament. So they're definitely trending in. They've been trending in the right direction, at least the second half of SEC play. But they're going to get Boogie Flan back here more than likely. Not really sure if that's a good thing for them. It's an interesting matchup, but really I think it's going to be Kansas's defense here in this game that helps them to win this game.
Yeah, I think the Kansas rim defense will ultimately win out. They're not a great transition defense, which is kind of what I look for when looking to kind of fade Arkansas, because their offense grades out much worse when they're playing a half court setting. They're like 50th percentile on a points per possession basis in the half court on offense, which is significantly worse than what they are in transition. But yeah, overall, I do like how Kansas's defense matches up. 18th nationally in 2-point defense against a team in Arkansas who just doesn't really shoot it all that well. And even when Boogie Flan's coming back and he's one of their more talented shooters, he shot at 37% from three this year before he went down with that injury. I don't really trust and this Arkansas team that will probably be forced to be a little more perimeter reliant. So overall, I do trust Kansas to get the job done here. I know they haven't played up to expectations. A lot of the role players haven't really played all that well. Outside of Zeke Mayo, it's been a bit of an issue. AJ Storr and Rylan Griffin have been disappointments, to say it lightly. But I do think there's a lot of talent on this roster still, and I do trust Bill Self over John Calipari. I think Calipari's kind of getting his way worked out of the game, especially from a schematic perspective. He still runs a lot of the same stuff that he ran 25 years ago, right when he got to Kentucky. So I don't really love this Arkansas offense in a tournament setting, and Calipari's proven that in past years. I know it's a narrative that he can't really win in March as of late, but I do think the game is kind of passing him by, and Bill Self is still a brilliant offensive mind. He's just a little bit limited with the shooting talent that he has on this roster. I think he finds a way to get it done. Hunter Dickinson's been playing extremely well lately. He's kind of turned it on. He's playing at a higher gear at this point, and I think he knows his back's up against the wall. This is the end of his college career, and I do think he can have success in the post-up game here as well. So, yeah, I'll take Kansas to move on, and I think they're kind of live against St. John's, who, apparently I've been the number one hater of St. John's, but I was high on them in the preseason, but I do think Kansas has, opportunity against them as well.
Yeah. One other thing about Kansas's defense, right? Their rim defense is the lead. To your point, 18th in the country in 2-point percentage defense, but also they do it without fouling. They're top 60 in the country in defensive foul or free throw rate. So they don't allow teams to get to the line very much. This Arkansas team, even though Boogie Fland is coming back, they don't shoot the three very well. And even if they do, Kansas defense does a great job of running you off the line, allowing a low percentage from three, making your 3-point looks contested. So I don't really see very much of an angle here for Arkansas to generate a bunch of offense. Kansas is a veteran group. They're led by DeJuan Harris, who can't really shoot the ball that well, but he's a gamer when it comes to these big games. He takes care of the ball and makes the guys around him better. So I expect him to kind of control the tempo, the pace of this game, and really outclass like the younger guards, especially like Boogie Flan coming back. I expect him to kind of bait him a little bit, outclass him, and find Adams, Dickinson, Badunga, a lot on those lobs and pick and roll opportunities, and then playing like dribble handoff situations with Zeke Mayo. Zeke Mayo's been great lately. He's super efficient from three as of late. I think he's close to like 50% over the last few games. So I think as bad as this Kansas season was, and really wasn't that bad. It was just bad for their standard. They still have a real shot to kind of make some noise here in March.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that Arkansas is going to be without a Duthero for this game, I think is pretty massive. Like there's going to be really no great rim presence or like a great, attacker of the rim, even on the perimeter. Maybe Boogie Flan can be that guy, but who knows what he's going to look like in his first game back from a wrist or thumb injury, I believe it was. Wouldn't really trust him all that much. And yeah, they were playing bad basketball without Flan. I don't really know how much I would read into that. He's a good player. I think he will ultimately make this team better in, from a game to game basis. But yeah, I do trust Kansas to get it done. They're going to hit the reset button here, play with their backs against the wall, play super motivated, which you could question how motivated they've been at times throughout the season. They travel to Utah at one point in the year. They felt pretty checked out during that Utah trip. And, apparently they hit the reset button and we were they like reset their entire season after that BYU game. But I mean, I guess they've been playing better since that moment, but yeah, I'll still back Kansas. I trust Hunter Dickinson being the neutralizer in this game. He's the best player on the floor. Yeah. So I'll go with them.
Yeah, same. So, Kansas probably going to win this game, like the matchup, like their experience. So look for them to advance and play the winner of St. John's and Nebraska Omaha.